Hello, I'm Cindy Angulo, and I'm the creator of the FX Boom Fitness System, and I wanted to share with you some yoga-inspired stretch that tends to be beneficial for the more flexion intolerant spine. In my world, I call it the flexion individual or red team. So I'm going to first show you some of the variations with the chair to make it a little bit easier for those that can't get into positions. And then I'm going to show the second half where we do it mostly on the mat and the floor, which is a little bit more advanced. So if you're following along, you can repeat the chair stuff if the floor is a little too advanced. Okay, so first things first. Facing the chair, I'm going to take a deep breath all the way in, reach it tall, and blow it out. Forward flex. Now, the main thing on flexion intolerant spine is not to round your back, hence the word flexion intolerant. So a lot of the stuff like in yoga where you typically round, I'm going to avoid. I'm going to put my hands on the chair, I'm going to walk both feet back, and I'm going to go to a downward dog. I'm going to relax my lower body and de-shrug my shoulders and keep my chest lifted. There should never be any pain. If there's pain, please stop. Hold it here, and then pull back to a downward dog. Push that chair away, drop your head if you need a wiggle. Come back forward, an upward dog, de-shrug your shoulders, open up that chest. You can wiggle around a little bit, don't force it, and pull back. Breathe out as you pull back. Let's do one more. Come forward to a cobra, which is a really good stretch for the back if you have a back issue and you're flexion intolerant. Always check with the doctor before you do anything new. Push back, and nice. So now I'm going to bring one knee in, and I'm going to hip extend, one knee in, and I'm going to hip extend, last one knee in, and then I'm going to bring it up onto the chair into a mild pigeon stretch. Now, don't force it. If you feel any pain in your hip joint in a bad way, stop this stretch. This is not always the best stretch for everybody. So I'm doing what's called a moving pigeon. I don't have my foot completely forward, but it's pretty close. And go ahead, pull back to a downward dog, and we're going to do the same thing on the other. So I'm going to come back to a plank. I'm going to bring my knee in, and I'm going to hip extend. Don't give up your abs. I'm going to bring my knee in, abs are tight, and I'm going to hip extend without dumping. Bring my knee in, and cross, and then set it on the chair. And I'm just going to kind of sit into it. If I need to, I can also put towels under my knee to help aid in that knee being supported. And then I'm going to push back to that downward dog. So I'm going to walk my feet a little bit wider, and I'm going to kind of do kind of a side lunge, going side to side. I'm going to move a little bit closer to the chair, side to side. So now I'm going to stay on my right. I'm going to kind of rock forward and back. This is kind of like a modified Cossack stretch. So my left leg is straight, so I'm going to reach my left arm through, and I'm going to push up towards the ceiling. Reach my left arm through, and take a deep breath in as I reach up to the ceiling. One more. Push my left arm through, and I'm getting a good adductor stretch, and all the way up to the ceiling, and I'm going to switch. So I'm going to shift over to the left side. I'm going to rock forward and back. I should feel a really good stretch on that right leg. I'm going to reach through and up to the ceiling. I'm going to reach through with my right and up to the ceiling. Last one. Reach through, up to the ceiling. Now I'm going to pull back one more time and kind of wiggle around. I'm going to drop down to my knees. I'm going to take one hand, reach crossed, and sit into it. And it's kind of like a child's stretch or child's pose, but doing the one side. And I'm going to feel my lat all the way down. I'm going to breathe. I can cat-cow it here. And I should feel that stretch all the way down to my lat. If I don't, or all the way down to my hip. If I don't, then I'm going to stay here longer or come repeat it. Same thing on the other side. Reaching crossed. I can cat-cow it a couple times. If it hurts to sit back like this, you can always put a towel, a big beach towel under your knees or a pillow. A more advanced version of this is if I get a little bit closer, put both hands on, keep them separate, and I try and dive my head below. I'm going to breathe in as a cat. I'm going to breathe out. Breathe in as a cat. And breathe out. One more. Breathe in as a cat. And breathe out. So this is a common tight point, the lats and triceps. I'm going to go back up. I'm going to step one foot forward. So I'm going to reach one arm up all the way here. And then I'm gonna pull back and wobble my foot. Drop my hips forward. So I'm gonna tuck my butt before I drop, squeeze my glute of the left leg or the back leg, and reach up and open up that chest. Hands down, pull back. Now I can move it to the other side of the chair too, to get a little bit more of the glute, but kind of play around with which one feels the best. Same thing on the other side. Tuck my butt, drop down, hip flexor stretch, reach up, and pull back, wiggle my toe. Now I'm keeping my back straight, I'm not trying to round. Drop down, reach up, here, pull, last one, drop down, reach up. Now I'm gonna cross over and do just a little bit more of the glute stretch. And dropping down and then straightening. So that is a really good hip flexor hamstring stretch while using the chair, because sometimes people can't get to the floor in the hamstring stretch. So I'm gonna take my knees wide, this is an adductor stretch, and I'm gonna sit and push both knees kind of out. So I can cat-cow it here, I can reach one hand down to the ground if I can, and reach an arm up. Deep breath in as I reach up. This is an upper T-spine stretch. Up. 2 more. Now I can always push my elbow on my knee too. That is always an option. And I'm gonna go ahead and sit up. So I'm gonna grab the chair. I'm gonna straighten my arms just a little bit to get that bicep stretch. Put my hands behind my head. And just open and close a couple times. That's the last version of the chest stretch. So now we're gonna do what's called the couch stretch, which is a great quad stretch. So if you have a lot of back issues, this is one I would highly suggest. You back up into a wall, a couch, an ottoman, or a chair. My knee is directly down, and I'm gonna try and come up. Now, when I first started, this is about as far as I could come up because my quads were so tight, so I would stay here. But eventually you wanna work to getting that front foot up without having to move the knee out to do it. You wiggle side to side just to find where that tight quad is, and you work on coming all the way up. Keep your pelvis tucked, and you'll feel this really big quad stretch. Now, if this is really that tight, you can do some hamstring exercises and come back to it. And just holding and breathing. And let's try the other side. Knee at the wall or at a chair or ottoman. Put your foot forward if you can. I'm gonna wiggle side to side, really get that quad stretch. You can come up, great. If you can't even get your knee and your foot forward, that's fine too. Just keep working on this. This is a big one for the flexion spine. All right, so now I'm gonna take you through all the same type of exercises, but now without a chair, with just the mat. And it makes it a little bit harder, so if you are unable to do it, go ahead, get your chair and repeat what you just did. Deep breath in and blow it out, forward fold, keep your back flat. I'm gonna walk all the way out, pop back, weight on the front of my hands, lower down to a chaturanga. You can lift off your front of your foot, relax your glutes, de-shrug your neck, hold, pull back into a child's pose, thumbs up. If you need to put a towel under your knees or something like a pillow to make it a little easier to sit back, I'm gonna walk my hands over to one side, and I'm just gonna breathe. You should feel the stretch moving all the way down, all the way to my hip joint, and if I don't, I'm gonna do this again on each side. Pause the video and do that until you feel it go all the way down to that hip. Same thing on the other side, and just reach. And I'm pushing the ground away from me with my hand. And bring it back center. Up on your hands and knees. I'm going to cat-cow, breathe in as I come up. And flatten it down and extend that spine into a cow. Go all the way up, push the ground away. Here's your cat. And flatten it down and extend the spine. There's your cow. One more. Deep breath in, push all the way up. And flatten your spine. So I'm just going to kind of circle everything, my shoulders, my hips, and I'm moving forward and back. See if you can coordinate. It's hard to move forward. There we go. And then I move my hips around. And if it feels good, I can kind of go side to side, whatever works for you. All right, push back to a downward dog and hold. Raise up on your toes and flatten it down. Raise right leg all the way up. Breathe in as you raise it up. Now bring that right knee all to your right elbow and blow it out. Bring it all the way up. Bring that right knee all the way to the left elbow, blow it out. Bring that right knee all the way up, that right leg, and kick it all the way through. Now you can either lower down now, keep both hands down, or raise the arm up of the arm that's to the side you're turned to. Both hands down, drop down into a pigeon stretch, a moving pigeon. I'm a big fan of keeping my foot close because I don't want to jam out my labrum, but you can also grab your ankle and get a quad stretch. And then release. Push back to a downward dog. Now, same thing on the other side. Left leg goes all the way up. Bring that left knee all the way to your left elbow. Push that left leg all the way up. Left knee to your right elbow. Push that leg all the way up. And bring that leg all the way through to a falling star. Weight on your hands, raise up, push the floor away. Hold it here. Bring both hands down. Drop down into that pigeon and kind of moving around. Nice and easy. If you want, you can grab that back ankle and get that extra quad stretch. And release, push back up into a downward dog, walk your feet in. Come forward to a chaturanga, lower down to an upward dog, relax the glutes. Dig your toes, pull back to a downward dog. Holding it here, really pushing, lift that hip up. So now we're going to step our right foot forward into a low lunge and drop my back knee down, curve my back foot, and I'm going to kind of wiggle side to side here. I can push my right knee out with my elbow. This is called a crooked monkey. I can grab my back ankle and get that quad stretch. Holding it here and release. I'm going to drop my elbow down to the ground if I can and raise all the way up to the ceiling. Drop my elbow down to the ground if I can. Raise all the way up to the ceiling. One more. Drop my elbow all the way down to the ground if I can. All the way to the ceiling. So now I'm going to pull my foot back and I'll rock forward. Now when I rock forward, I tuck my pelvis and then I drop into it. I'm going to pull back. I'm going to drop into it. Now I can also bring it, drop down, pull back. I can also take it cross body if I don't feel it as much out wide. Then I'm going to bring both feet back. So this time, push back into a downward dog. Now step forward with your left foot. Once you get there, you're going to drop the back knee down and you're going to kind of wiggle side to side. Now you may have one side that's stiffer or tighter than the other. That's perfectly normal. Just kind of wiggle around. Then I can push my elbow out on my knee and get that crooked monkey, get that little bit deeper stretch. I can grab my back ankle and stretch through my quad. If I can't grab my ankle, I can rest it on a pillow, a couch, or I can use a yoga strap or a belt and bring it down. I'm going to drop down to my elbow and I'm going to raise up to the ceiling. I'm going to drop down to my elbow. If you can't get down to your elbow, go as far as you can. Drop down to my elbow and raise up to the ceiling. Now I'm going to pull back, tuck my pelvis and come up. I'm going to pull back again, wiggle my toes, tuck my pelvis and come up. Now if I don't feel that, I can always go crossed. Forward and pull back. Now you may not feel it on both sides. Do what works for you. And then bring both feet back. Push back up to a downward dog. Forward, lower down to an upward dog. Get that nice stretch. De-shrug your shoulders. And go ahead, pull back into a child's pose. I can raise my arms up just to kind of check, keeping my arms as straight as I can. Going into a Cossack stretch, I'm going to take one leg out to the side. I'm going to tuck my toes of the foot that's back, and I'm going to rock forward and back. Now I can move at my foot. If I have any knee pain, put a pillow or something to stabilize my knee or keep it slightly bent. No pain should ever be felt. So I'm going to reach through as I go back, blow it out, and take a deep breath in and push the floor away. Reach through and blow it out, and reach up. One more, blow through, and up. Deep breath in. Both hands down. I'm going to switch. I'm going to rock forward and back just like so. Just checking everything, making sure no pain. You may have one side that's tighter. Reach through, blow it out, and go ahead, reach up and extend. Reach through and blow it out, and up and extend. One more. Reach through and blow it out, and up and extend. And then bringing that foot in. Another good one is I'm going to walk all the way over onto my stomach. I'm going to try and grab one ankle and release. I'm going to try and grab the other ankle and lift my quad off the ground and release. You can either stay with that or you can try and grab both ankles, squeeze your shoulder blades together, open up your chest, try and keep your knees squeezed together, and then take a rest. Pull back like this. We're going to do it one more time. Come all the way forward, grab your back, open up that chest, squeeze your shoulder blades back and down, and release. Pull back into a child's pose. Push back up into a downward dog. Walk your feet all the way in, flat back, come all the way up, step and face them. Deep breath in and blow it out. So now I'm going to take my feet wide, reach all the way up, flat back going down. I'm going to drop down and up a couple times. If I need to, I can put something under my butt. And I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to reach one arm out to the side and back down. One arm out to the side, back down. If you're squatting or anything, this is a really big and important one. And then I'm going to reach both arms up and stand up. So flat back going down, drop all the way down, reach, both arms up, stand up. One last one, slide down, drop your butt, now wiggle around, reach one arm up, arm up, both arms up, and stand up. Go ahead, cross one leg behind, reach that arm up, big lateral stretch, push that hip out. Other side, same thing, cross behind, big lateral stretch, and cross behind. One more, reach both arms out, tuck your butt under, both arms up, hands behind your head, and just kind of wiggle. You can kind of move in a circular action. And that is it. So those are all the different stretch and yoga inspired moves for flexion and intolerant spine. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. We got more details for you, and feel great.